Hello friends, I am Shivani Raikwar. Today we will be dealing with an interesting episode of B.Pharma 6th semester. The title of our topic is Pharmaceutical Marketing and Market Research 1 and 2. Expert of this topic is Dr. Yashwant Gupta, Group Leader R&D, Glenmark, Nashik, Maharashtra. Now coming to the Module 1, that is Definition of Pharmaceutical Marketing. Marketing of pharmaceuticals or fine chemicals and raw materials related to the production of medicines is known as pharmaceutical marketing. It is the sum of all business activities that are related to the flow of pharmaceutical goods and services from the pharmaceutical manufacturer to the ultimate consumer, that is, the patient. Marketing functions. Marketing is concerned with the movement of goods from the point of production to the point of ultimate human consumption or use. In this movement, goods pass through the several essential processes. Various marketing functions are commonly grouped in following four classes. First, function of exchange, which includes buying and selling. Second, function of physical supply, which includes transportation and storage. 3. Facilitating function, which includes financing, risk-bearing and marketing information. 4. Equalization function, which includes grading and dividing. A classification of marketing process based on the flow of goods from the producer to the consumer is defined as: first is buying. Buying is the first step in pharmaceutical marketing. It is concerned with of supply the selection of raw materials to be used in the process of manufacture or pharmaceuticals on the basis of price, services rendered by the seller and the quality of the goods. The pharmaceutical manufacturer has to buy the raw materials necessary for the manufacture of pharmaceuticals in sufficient quantity and of required quality to be able to run his factory efficiently and profitably. Similarly, merchant has to purchase goods or product from various sources of supply to meet the demands of their consumer to earn profit. For this purpose, goods of the best possible quality are to be purchased at the most favorable prices from seller offering best terms. To ensure buying, which may combine all of sales, mode of delivery, etc., are negotiated with the supplier. On the basis of the negotiation, purchase orders are prepared and goods are received and inspected. Thus, buying involves taking the following decision. First, what kind of goods is required? Second, what quantity these goods are to be bought? Third, when are they to be bought? Fourth, from whom are these goods to be bought? Methods of buying. There are four methods of buying. First is inspection, second is sample, third is description and fourth is grade. Now, buying by inspection. This implies physical presence of the good which are inspected by the buyer or his agent in the presence of the seller or his agent. Purchases are made after the buyer is satisfied with regard to the quality of the goods on actual examination. Buying by sample. This method of buying is very common. It avoids the physical presence of goods to be purchased. Only a sample of good is given to the buyer. Buyer examines the sample and decides to purchase or not to purchase. While taking decision, he ensures that the whole lot of the goods to be purchased will be of the same quality as that of the sample. Buying by description. It refers to the purchase of goods made on the basis of description of goods in catalogue. Popularity of this method of buying depends upon the reputation of the seller in regard to his honesty and integrity of character. This method saves the cost of sample, but this method presumes that the buyer has a technical knowledge of the product. Buying by grade. Goods which are standardized and graded are purchased in required quantity simply by mentioning their grades. Cotton, ghee, eggs, etc. have been divided into certain grades based on the quality, etc. They are bought by mentioning the grade of the required quality. Selling. Selling is an important function of marketing which involves transfer of the title of goods to the buyers. Nothing happens unless goods sold by somebody. It is through selling that a business firm achieves its objectives and consumers obtain for their needs. Mass production has created the need for mass selling. It is easy to produce goods, but it is very difficult to sell them. Demand creation is one of the difficult jobs that a seller has to face. Sales are the lifeblood of business and selling is the heart of marketing. Selling comprises of all personal and impersonal activities like creating demand, locating buyers, negotiating terms of sale, transferring title, credit, collection, servicing sales, planning, marketing research, price fixing, product development and administration of sales force, etc. In pharmaceutical marketing, the sale of pharmaceuticals and medicines depends on a large extent on the prescribing pattern of physician. Hence, the pharmaceutical manufacturer, by utilizing the personal selling effort through medical representative, try to influence the physician prescribing trends. The marketing results in the creation of place and time utilities. Now coming to Module 2. Function of physical supply. Physical supply means the actual movement of products to the customer with the help of transportation and warehousing facilities. The principal economic basics for transportation are enhancing the value of goods by the creation of place utility. Transportation. It is an integral part of the process of marketing. Transportation is carrying of goods and people from one place to another by means of different modes of conveyance. Goods are produced at different places far away from the place of consumption or use. It is by means of transport that production and consumption are linked together. By moving goods and persons over long distance, transport creates place utility, mass selling and mass production are impossible without efficient and economical transport. It makes for geographical specialization. Improvement in the means of transport has resulted in lower price and better services to consumers. Increases in the speed of various modes of transport have helped in reducing price fluctuations. Goods must be financed and insured in the course of transit. Railways, roads, waterways and airways are the chief mode of transport. Modern transport is capable of creating time utility with the increase of various modes of quotations. Transportation provides the following advantages to the function of marketing. Created opportunities for optimum utilization of capital and labor. Helped in the growth and distribution of wealth. Promotes the division of labor and specialization. Creates new market and widening the scope of existing market. Helps in the stabilization of prices of goods by movement of supplies from surplus to the shortage areas. Helps the trade within and between the countries. It helps in the promotion of several industries producing perishable items like fishing, dairy farming, poultry farming, vegetables and food items. Rail transportation is the common medium for transporting pharmaceutical goods from one place to another within the country. Goods are carried from pharmaceutical industries to the railway station by road transport and loaded into wagons of goods train. Big pharmaceutical companies have their own fleet of motor vehicles like trucks, tempos and lorries to transport their goods from one place to another. Now coming to the classification of transport. Transport is divided into three ways: landways, waterways and airways. Land includes railways, roadways, tramways and pipelines. Water includes inland ways and ocean ways. Air includes internal and international. Now coming to module 3. Storage. Storage became necessary fewer than two conditions: when production is seasonal but consumption is perennial, and also when production is continuous but consumption is seasonal. In other words, storage involves holding and preserving of the goods between the time of their production and the time of their use. It facilitates steady flow of commodities to market throughout the year. Need for the storage. Need for storage arises due to following reasons. First, goods are produced in anticipation of demand and must be stored until they are sold. Second, some goods are produced regularly but consumed only during particular season. Example, wool, raincoat and umbrella. Third, certain products are demanded throughout the year but produced in certain season. Example, crops. Fourth, perishable goods are needed to be stored for preservation. Fifth, raw material and product produced at distant places have to be stored near the point of consumption to overcome delays and uncertainties of transport and possible shortage. Sixth, goods may be stored in anticipation of rise in prices. Goods like rice, tobacco, etc. are become more valuable with the passage of time. Warehousing reduces the price fluctuations. Seventh, small quantities are stored to make large lots which are economical to transport. Now coming to module 4. Financing. Finance is the lifeblood of any industrial or commercial undertaking and is an essential element for every kind of business activity. It is the provision of money at the time it is wanted. Money is like an arm or a leg. You either use it or lose it. Money or credit is the lubricant that facilitates the operation of marketing machine. A business requires finance for many purposes. From the moment an organization is born till its death, finance is required for varied purposes. One of such purpose is marketing, a process which requires adequate and enough finance. Need of finance. The need of finance in marketing arises due to following factors. First, to regulate production and storage of goods demanded during particular seasons. Second, to maintain a minimum level of inventories in anticipation of demand. Third, to meet buying, selling and transport expenses. Fourth, to meet changes in style, fashion and competitive products. Fifth, to meet temporary needs during depression, low sales, etc. Cooperative undertakings or the sales department of a manufacturer need relatively large amount of capital for the purchase of goods, for resale, for paying wages and salaries and other operating expenses, and for credit to customers, etc. Capital required for these purposes is called working capital. Also, they require some fixed capital for land, building, furniture and other office appliances. But the amount required for such purpose usually small. Generally, land and building are rented and not owned by the marketing concern. Sources of capital. Funds to meet all the requirements mentioned above are obtained from the following sources. First, investment of own money by the owners of the concern. Second, borrowings of short term ranging from 1 to 4 months from commercial banks. Third, borrowing from friends and relatives. Fourth, loan from finance companies on the security of merchandiser bills receivable. Fifth, credit extended by sellers. Feedback. The pharmaceutical marketing requires system of feedback. The objectives of such feedback system are as follows: to measure effect of adopted methodology, to improve strategic approaches, to control, analyze market current scenario. Feedback provides suggestion regarding which marketing approaches need to be adopted or dropped. Now, the sources of feedback: electronic data, published data, manual feedback, organizational, internal feedback system, etc. Now coming to Module 5, Market Information. Marketing function can be very efficient and highly successful only when it is possible to take correct and timely decisions. The marketing policies can be formulated and the plans of production and marketing of goods can be quickly finalized only if accurate and up-to-date of market condition is readily available. All those who participate in the marketing activities can do their jobs very successfully only when they possess thorough and up-to-date knowledge of conditions prevailing in the various related markets. A marketer will have to collect information relating to the following. First, places where prospective buyers exist. Second, quantity of goods that can be marketed. Third, quality of goods desired by consumers, their taste, habits, fashion, preferences, etc. Fourth, price at which goods can be sold. Fifth, possibilities of introducing new products and creation of new demand in the potential markets. Sixth, type of products to be collected and stocked and in probable quantities. The information can be collected first by conducting the market survey and then by interpreting such fact and data so collected. This is called market research, but it is very essential to ensure that the market information is accurate, adequate, correct, useful and up to date so that it will be easy to take correct decision and formulate proper and reliable marketing strategy. The various sources of marketing information may be classified as under. First, internal sources. A lot of valuable information is available within the firm. Main internal sources are records of the concerned salesman's report. The data with regard to sales cost and profits can be analyzed in terms of different products and sales territories. Such data is very convenient and economical provided records are kept systematically and up to date. Second, external sources. All the required information is often not available internally. Internal records often provide the due to further information. External sources are of two types. First is primary sources. Primary data is obtained directly from first-hand sources through direct market research or field investigation. Data may be collected from consumers, dealers and competitors or through business trips and questionnaires, etc. Observation, survey and experimental methods are used. Collection of information in this manner is quite inconvenient and expensive. It requires a separate organization and workforce or use of the services of specialized marketing agencies. However, the data collected is likely to be more accurate and up to date. Second, secondary data. These refer to collection of data from the published or unpublished reports of the government, trade associations and other relevant agencies. Now coming to Module 6, Channels of Distribution. Channel of distribution is the route taken by goods as they move from the producer to the ultimate consumer. It is the last component of total marketing process. The ultimate aim of every producer is to get the goods delivered to the consumers. He manufactures the goods. The consumer comes to know about the product through advertising, and next step is to see that the goods are available to the consumers. The channel of distribution signifies various trade links connecting the producer and the ultimate consumer. It includes producers, wholesalers and retailers, and sometimes mercantile agents are also included. But channels of distribution does not include transport agencies, insurance companies, banks, warehouse and other non-middleman institutions. Through they perform very important function and aid of trade, but they do not play any major role in negotiating, purchase and sales of products. Advantages of channel of distribution: time utility and place utility. Consumers can get the goods at the place and at the time they require goods. Marketing cost is less. Due to financial pooling from different sources, financial burden on producer is less. Due to large network, more promotional effort by each categories, hence more advertisement for the product. Creation of more employment potential and standard of living. Different channel of distribution. Channel of distribution are broadly classified into two groups. First, direct selling and second is indirect selling. Direct selling. In direct selling, the manufacturer sells his product directly to the customers by employing his own salesman or middleman who contacts the consumers. Direct selling is advantageous because the middlemen are eliminated and hence the goods utility became cheap. Moreover, the incentives can be directly given to the customer. In indirect selling, this method adopts the middleman who act as a link between the producer and the consumer. They are engaged in the marketing and help in purchase and sale of goods and services. Middlemen usually charge for services they have rendered to manufacturer and the consumers. Wholesaler. They are the merchants to buy and sell the goods in large quantities and generally deal in a narrow range of goods. They provide an important link between the manufacturer and retailer. He possesses the title to the goods and he takes the several marketing risks in process of distribution of goods. He purchases goods in large quantity and sells goods in small quantity to the retailers. The wholesaler handling pharmaceutical products required a drug license from the Drug Control Department of the concerned state. He sells the products to the pharmacist and physicians. A wholesaler is called a stockist if he handles the products of a single manufacturer. Classification of wholesaler. Mainly, wholesalers are classified into three types: manufacturer wholesaler, retailer wholesaler and the pure wholesaler. Function of wholesaler: assembly of goods, distribution, transportation, storage, financing, risk tasking, pricing, grading and packaging, market research and promotion. Retail. A retailer sells the goods to the customers and maintains good license with the wholesaler, manufacturer and consumer. He is a middleman between a wholesaler and consumer. He collects various kinds of goods from numerous sources and sells them to the consumers in small quantities. They are generally located at the popular residential areas. Retail business is organized on proprietorship or partnership basis. Function of retailers: wide variety of goods, transport, financing, market research, sales promotions, The services performed by the retailer are as follows. He performs number of services not only to the wholesaler and manufacturer but also to the actual customer. Services to the producer, that is wholesaler. They are the best link between the producer and the customer and helps in the distribution of goods. They take over the function of dealing with large number of persons and selling goods in very small quantity, thus resolve wholesalers from this job. Without the services of the retailers, it is not possible to introduce a new product in the market. They provide the latest information with regards to taste, fashion and demand of the consumer to the wholesaler, who in turn transmits the same to the producers. Services to the consumers. They sell goods from the consumer in the smallest possible quantities according to the need of the consumers. They keep large variety of goods and thus offer a wide choice to the customer. They advise the customers regarding the suitability, use and maintenance of the product. They also provide free home delivery and after-sale services to the regular customers. They allow cash discount to the customer on the product sold. They provide fresh and latest products to the customer. Departmental store. A departmental store is a big store or retail organization engaged in retail trade of wide assortment of goods under one roof. The store is divided into well-defined departments for better coordination and control. Every department is related to particular line products. Each department confines its activities to a particular line of business. Departmental store dealt with wide range of products. The main object of departmental store is to satisfy consumer needs at one place, to save trouble for consumers from going pillar to post to purchase everyday necessities. Advantages of departmental store. Convenience of shopping, large assortment of goods, wider choices for customer. Centrally located, easily accessible, provision of television, recreation for children, home, delivery, etc. Economy of large scale operation, better promotional and ad campaigns to educate the consumers. Disadvantages of departmental store. The cost of running the business is very high. High operational cost, hence goods become costlier. Since centrally located, traffic congestion and not easily accessible to people living in city outskirts. Since many employees are working, difficult for the owner to achieve better coordination and supervision. Multiple shops. Multiple shops are group of shops in the same branch of retail trade under centralized management and dealing in similar lines of product. A single business firm opens a number of branch shops which are situated at different locality in the city and the different parts of the country. The main objective is providing shopping facilities to the customer near their residence. The multiple shops are centrally controlled and received supply from the central office and remit the sale proceeds regularly to the central office. They have uniformity of the operation and each branch deal in the similar line of goods. The price of all items is fixed by the head office and same is charged at every branch. Purchasing, pricing and advertisement are done centrally. There is only decentralization of selling. Advantages. Advantages includes the prices are fixed and no bargaining is done. Multiple shops can easily be identified because uniform pattern of design and decoration of the shops. Generally, quality goods are sold. Due to lower operational cost, the prices of goods are generally lower. Common advertisement is done from a centralized place which covers the entire national network. In multiple shop system, there is a direct contact between producer and customer, so middleman profit is eliminated. In multiple shops, sales are made strictly on cash payment, so there is practically no loss due to bad debt. The fixed price and standard quality of the goods help in winning the confidence of consumer. Better market research can be done because of direct contact with consumer. Greater flexibility in operation because it is easier to shift a store from one place to another. There is diversion of risk. Unsold stock can be transferred to other branches to prevent loss or damage. Disadvantages. Some of the disadvantages includes it cannot offer wide variety of products to customers because the range is limited. There is lack of free home delivery service and credit facility to the consumer. The owner of shops cannot make personal contact with these customers. The success of organization depends on the branch manager. Since the products are of a standardized nature, they cannot be adjusted to suit the need of the local market. To run chain stores, heavy investments and faithful persons are required to look after business. Mail order business. Mail order business is a type of retail trade which involves activities taking place through post. The order is received by post and goods are sending to the consumer by post. Mail order business is also known as selling through post for the retailer and shopping by the post. The manufacturer establishes contact with the customer by means of advertisement in leading newspaper, magazines, TV, radios, etc. The manufacturers send their price list, sample, circulars, etc. giving details of the product by post. The customer places order for supply of goods after they go through an advertisement. Generally, the goods are sent by VPP. The goods are delivered to the addresses on the payment of the price to the post office, which remits it to the owner of goods. Sometimes the goods are also sending by railway or transport agencies. The bills are sent to respective places and customers are informed accordingly. Characteristics of mail order business. There is no need of middleman. Goods are sold without any personal contact between buyer and seller. There is no need of large capital. It is purely based on advertisement. The order is placed by post only. Advantages of mail order business. The customer need not travel long distance to procure the goods. The business can be located in less expensive localities. The buyer is generally given a money-back guarantee. There is no need of appointing middleman. There is no need of storing goods. The same may be procured as and when the order is received. There is no danger of bad debts since the price of goods is received either in advance or collected from post office and goods sent by VPP. The seller gets a wide variety of market to sell his product. Disadvantages of mail order business. Risk of good getting damaged during transportation. There is loss of personal contact and buyers cannot examine the good before purchase. The credit facilities are not available to the customer. Goods sent by post are costlier because postal expenses are met by the customer. Seldom postal delay and strike cause inconvenience to the buyer. Fraud can be committed on innocent customer. There is no after-sale service to the customer. This system is suitable only to educated people. Advertisement requires large amount of money. Now coming to the summary of the lecture. This chapter deals about pharmaceutical marketing and market research topic covers function of marketing, concept of buying, selling, storage, transportation, finance, feedback, information. Lecture emphasizes role of distribution channel, wholesale, retail, multiple shop, departmental store and mail order business in pharmaceutical marketing. Study focused buying and selling as many functions of business related to the goods and services, and all other things works around these two. For selling the goods and services, it is necessary to know about the market and the actual need of the customer. That comes under market research. Satisfied the consumer need at right time, the success key of running a smooth business, and this can be achieved through proper marketing and market research. Thank you.